this is the lineup you go with. You have to know who the best players on your team are. Mount is a good player. Foden is a good player. But if England want to have any realistic chance of winning this, Grealish must start, Saka must start, and you must find a place for Sancho. Because the football wasn't great. There's still a lot to be worked on. There is a really good team here. There is a really good footballing team here. There are ballers on this team. It's just down to Southgate just to get the balance right. And let's be real. What the bloody hell has Harry Kane, aka Larry Lane, done in these past 3 games? Let's get it. Better from England, but it's still not great. Still not great. It's still in Italy. It's still not Netherlands. It's still not Belgium. But at least an improvement is still in the right direction. I was walking down the street, I was just going through the shops and so forth. And on the front page, the big thing was, my gosh, Mount is missing, obviously due to him coming in contact with Billy Gilmore, who obviously had COVID. So him and Chilwell have to self-isolate. So the big news is, my gosh, Mount is one of England's best players. What is England now going to do without Mount? I was like, all right, okay, cool. And this is what you need to understand. Mount is a very good player. So is Foden. Mount is a very good player. So is Foden. So yes, England losing Mount and Foden, it's a loss because those are good players. But guys, I'm here to be real. If you're not ready for me to be real, unsubscribe and press stop. I'm giving you another warning. If you don't want me to be real, unsubscribe from this channel, press stop, and go to some other channels that will tell you what you want to hear. I don't tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what you need to hear. That's how we do. So I'll give you a warning. Mount is good. Grealish is better. Grealish is a better footballer than Mount. Grealish offers more to this England team than Mount does. And Grealish is a guy who can give England far more texture than Mount. So Grealish is a better option. And Grealish will always start in my team over Mount based on what Grealish can give me in a footballing sense. Foden is overall a better player than Saka. Hence why he's one of the best young talents out there. But for this team, Saka is more effective. Foden is a better player, but Saka is more effective. So therefore, based on me wanting to win, I have a greater chance winning with Saka than with Foden. Harry Kane. What does Harry Kane offer this team? It's a simple question. I'm looking out there. Let me say again. What does Harry Kane, aka Larry Lane, offer this team? For the past 3 games, he's been garbage. He's been crap. I know, you won't hear this on BBC Sports. You won't hear this on Sky or so forth. But I'm real. He's been trash. And if I was a manager, I would drop him. So either I would roll with Calvert-Lewin or I would roll with Sterling in the number 9 spot. Bring in Sancho in the number 10 spot. So obviously have Saka, you obviously have Grealish there. That's how I would roll. Because you have to contribute. You don't have to score. That's the key thing. Similar to Giroud. Giroud did not score a single goal for France at the World Cup, but he was contributing. He helped. You could see his function in his team in bringing guys into the game. For most of that game, the people who were making things happen was a combination of Shaw Sterling, Saka, and Grealish. Those are the guys that were making things happen and trying to conjure up things. Kane, for like 20, 30 minutes, I was like, is Kane playing? Is he on this pitch? What is he doing? Because, see, this has to be a meritocracy. Guys can't just be in the team based off their name. You see, you have to understand about Harry Kane. You are not Messi. You are not Cristiano. I don't care whether Cristiano goes through 3-4 games not scoring. Cristiano is never going off that pitch because he has earned the right to have his name on that starting lineup, whether he scores or doesn't score, whether he plays well or doesn't play. He has too much of a reputation. Kane, you don't have any reputation. No one gives a damn about the EPL. I don't, guys. I'm going to be a bit harsh here. I'm sorry. This is because I think the old HH needs to come because we're now getting towards the because it's old HH. No one gives a crap what you've done at Tottenham. No one gives a crap about the EPL. The EPL is irrelevant because this is international football. So you can start pad all you want in the EPL. You can win. You can break the Premier League goal scoring record. Nobody cares. No one cares because cool. You scored all those goals for the EPL. What have you done for me now? No. Cool. Where are the goals? I thought this was the best goal scorer in the world. Oh, let me guess. Service. There's no service? Oh, let me guess. There's no creativity? Oh, let me guess. There are too many excuses. Can I remind the kids what it's about? Guys, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Hashtag no excuses. Louder, guys. I need to be loud again. Say it again with me. 1, 2, 3. Hashtag no excuses. There we go. I am not here for excuses. Get it done or get out of my sight. Get it done or I induct you. I don't want to hear any of that crap. If you don't get it done, I will call you trash and garbage. Kane, you've been trash and garbage. Hence why your name is Larry Lane. But let's look at what England are doing. Saka and Grealish. These are your guys. You build your team around these guys. I'm going to get to Sancho. I'll get to Sancho, but let's deal with the good first. Saka and Grealish, these are your guys. And it's so funny because I obviously, I traverse around Instagram and everything. Saka and Grealish, they actually hang out together. Like they eat together and everything. And they interviewed Grealish, and Grealish said that, one of the funniest guys amongst the squad is Saka. And obviously Saka, he's 19. He's one of the youngest guys alongside Bellingham. So you can see how he'll be very energetic with the older guys. But you can just see that mentally, in a mental sense, they've brought a whole different dynamic to this England team that did not exist for the 2 games. Again, Mount is a quality player. We know how good he is. We know how good Foden is. But if you look at Mount and Grealish, Mount is a guy who can make things happen, move the ball forward. Grealish is a footballer. These are 2 different things. There's one thing being a good quality talent that, makes things happen. Nothing being a footballer, where when he has the ball, you can just see the kinds of things that he's thinking of doing, the kind of confidence he has the ball, the kind of swag that he has on the ball. That's what you need. You need someone like that where, given the ball, let me make things happen. And that's what I said about Saka. Foden is a talent. But Saka is something. What's the thing about Saka is running straight. Now, football is a very difficult sport, so it's very hard to run straight, because, there are guys trying to block you. But the thing about Saka is, he's a guy that if I can find the opportunity, I'm going to try and carry the ball. You see, Saka and Grealish are 2 very different players. Grealish is a guy who will try and take the ball and is now looking for the creative pass. He's looking for the interesting pass and he's looking to try to get the ball inside the pocket. Saka is a player who will get the ball and will try and carry the ball forward, bring the ball in, and use his balance to bring the ball up forward and make up ground. How was the goal scored? How was the goal scored? The goal was scored because Saka said, I see a gap here. Instead of just making a sideways pass, which is what England had been doing, simple pass across, he said, no, let me drive forward. He drove forward, made up all that ground, forced Czech Republic to now reassess their defensive backup, and that is what created the tension for Czech Republic that laid the foundation for Grealish, who put a dinked pass over to your boy Sterling to score. But that goal was engineered by the guys who should have been starting in this team. Because this is what I said. I said that forget about people's ages. There is no such thing as being too young. Bro, I just want to just make sure. Jude Bellingham, age. Jude Bellingham is 17 years of age. Saka is 19. And those two teenagers are one of the most talented players in England's team. That's just the fact. So for me, nobody cares about it. Hence why I want to see Musiala play. I don't know whether he'll play, but I'm hoping that I see Musiala play because I don't care how young Musiala is. He's quality. So if I'm a manager, I'm looking in the training ground and I'm not like, well, he's 17, so, well, he's 19. No. He's good. He's one of the best. So he starts because he's better than most of these 20, 22-year-olds, 24, 26, 27, 28-year-olds. So my thing is that for Saka, it is obvious that no. He's one of England's best players and he's one of England's most important players because you see, at the World Cup, Sterling was England's most important player because he was the disruptor, And you always need that player who's going to ruffle up the feathers, who's just going to try and just, make things happen and just disrupt this. And that's what Sterling was. Now, Sterling is sort of still that, and he's still dangerous because of his speed. But Saka is the better player. You could just say that Saka, as a footballer, he's better. And I think that he has more finesse and more touch and more elegance to his play than I think Sterling does. So from Saka, he is a guy where, this is a guy for England can make things happen, whether it's winning a foul, winning a penalty, making up ground, pulling guys out of position. That is what he brings. So for Southgate, it is obvious that he has to start. So even if Mount and Foden were available, this is your guy. This is your guy that has to freaking start. So granted, England still were not great. And for me, as I was watching England, and I just watched them in moments, I was like, coaching. Give this team to the right manager. This is a team that can win this competition. They can't win it because they have the wrong manager. Simply. Because a team that has these amounts of attacking players and these amounts of percentages and characters in this team, you need a manager that understands them. Hence why, if Martinez was the manager of this team, England would be playing some very interesting football. Because Martinez will come in and be because Martinez is a very attack-minded coach who has a bit of that Latin kind of sentiment. So if Martinez comes in, he will know, no, Saka. There is no way Martinez does not start Sancho or Saka or Grealish because no, these are my best, my most technically gifted players that can help me open up stuff, specifically in the context of the game. So these guys are important to what we're trying to do. So that's where, Sancho. Sancho might be one of England's best footballers. In terms of just raw, natural ability, he might be one England's best footballer. How doesn't he start? Because if you're a manager and you see Sancho play and you don't say, no, this is one of my best players who I need to find this place for him in this team. Because if you give me a front line that has Sancho, Grealish, and Saka, there is some danger there. There is some serious danger there. But it's down to the manager and how the manager perceives things. Because this is my fear. If Mount was available, because obviously Foden was available, so if Mount was available, would Southgate have played Mount ahead of Grealish? Because you see, Foden, I think Saka played ahead of Foden. So it is what it is. But if we didn't have this whole COVID fiasco and Mount was available, I really believe that Southgate would have played Mount ahead of Grealish. And does Mount do what Grealish did for that goal? I don't know. I really don't know. You know, but it is clear as day that Grealish is simply the better player and is a guy that has to start. And he is the playmaker. That's the thing. If you're an attacking team and a team that has lots of attacking players, you have to have a playmaker. You have to have a guy who is on the ball trying to make things happen. And my thing is, again, if I was a manager and I was a coach and I was assessing England, I would already know that, there is I can do something with Sancho and Grealish in the middle and them walking off of each other to try to create. So these are like my two playmakers. So wherever they're on the pitch, these are my two playmakers working in tandem. Hence why I said that take Larry Lane off this freaking pitch because this guy's offering nothing. Play Sterling in as a false nine. And then you have Grealish, Sancho, you have Grealish left, Sancho in the number 10, Saka wide right. And within those three, you have lots of creativity, lots of playmaking, and you have football. You have a footballing chemistry that runs through. But this is me. This is half of this is HH. This is Southgate. So for Southgate, he doesn't have a footballing brain, a footballing mind. He doesn't have any offensive plan. You know, like that goal that England scored was not really engineered by Southgate's tutoring because, like, England still have no personality. Like, England's football is based off of Saka, Grealish, these guys individually figuring out something. It's not based off what they have learned in the training ground. Like, when you look at Belgium, they've learned this. Look at Italy because Mancini has given Italy something to learn. Martinez has given Belgium something to learn. So, I mean, that's the thing, man. You know, look, look, man, shout out to your boys, Scotland, man. But I always knew it. I always knew that for Scotland, this was always going to be a tough one for them to go through, man. It was always going to be tough for them. But for Croatia, man, they did their thing. I still think that Croatia are missing Mandzukic. But look, man, did you see Dric's goal? Did you see Dric's goal, man? Dric, the guy is still giving you something. But for Scotland, they've not been in a major tournament since 1998. So how much can you really hope for? So they did their thing. They showed up. But I think it's now time for them just to build upon this. And as for Croatia, good. I mean, like, based on how things started up and them drawing the game against Czech Republic, it was looking hairy. But at the end of the day, there was the thing, you know, this is good. Finished in second. Now we can maybe build upon this. But I just feel like if Croatia's peak was that 2018 World Cup. But yeah, but look, Jude Bellingham. That's another guy who, even from the little few minutes that I saw of him, maybe you might find a place for him. Because I think Calvin Phillips had a pretty good game first game. Next two games, Phillips has just been a bit. You're sort of now seeing the limitations of him as a player. And I think this could have been a really good opportunity to actually. I would have started Jude Bellingham. So you've seen Phillips for those two games. Bellingham, let me give you 90 minutes. Let me now see what you can do. Or give him 60. Give him 60 minutes, 65 minutes. Then he can bring in Phillips for the last 15. You know, so give these kids more time to roll because it's always that these kids are ready. They are confident and they can perhaps say, "What's up, man?" So look, man. I mean, I said again, England are not the most entertaining team. They don't play the most dynamic, amazing football, but there is a potential for this team to be entertaining. There is potential for this team to really be something. But the issue is that now, if you're now going to the last 16 now, will this be the lineup? Or will he change it again? Because obviously Mount is out for the last 16, so you would expect that this would have to be the lineup. So you may say that Mount and the Foden having to self-isolate might be a blessing in disguise because I just think naturally, just is if Mount was available based off the media hype, he would start. But just based off footballing reality, again, actually, Mount is a great option. He's a great option to have off the bench because he's a guy that can come off the bench and really change things. But you have to start with this Grealish kid. You have to, because he's simply shown that he can really offer this team the things that it needs to really say what's up. And that's what you need. You need certain players to really roll through. But I just feel that under Southgate, the talents of this team is wasted under Southgate. That's just the sad reality, man. So from your boy Rambo 339, man. Thank you for the dub, Rambo 339. So anybody can be world class if they score 80 goals against Burnley and Stockport, but be invisible on the world stage. 0 trophies. He's better than Liga. You see, Rambo. This is the thing that I just find laughable. Why is Kane world class? Again, this shows you the arrogance of the Premier League. You see, stupid me. I thought to be world class, you need to perform on a world stage. So either perform in the Champions League, Euros, or World Cup. So therefore, you are now performing against the very best. You can't be world class if you're stats padding against Kentish Town, Winnish, and Queen Elizabeth United. You can't be. You're a great Premier League player, but you can't be world class. So whenever I questioned Kane being world class, people are, no one cares how many goals you score in the Premier League. That's the Premier League. So you're a domestic merchant. Come to the World Cup or the Euros, what are you doing? You saw that goal that Lewandowski scored. And Lewandowski does not have anywhere near the kind of help that Kane has. Let's keep it real. Lewandowski has 0 help. He doesn't have the likes of Mounts, Foden, Grealish, Saka, all these guys around. He has nothing. So he's literally using every little bit of energy. So again, it's the arrogance of EPL merchants, because people believe that because you ball in the Premier League, you're therefore amazing. Same thing with Rooney. How many World Cup goals did Rooney score? Yeah, he scored in the CL final. At least that's something. But how many World Cup goals did that guy score? In what, 2 or 3 World Cups? I think it was 1 or 2. So don't talk to me about Larry Lane being world class. He's not. He's an EPL merchant. So he is great for EPL standards. But when it now comes to the elite level, he's come up short. He's not scored in a CL semi-CL final, World Cup semi-World Cup final, Euro semi-Euro final. And, but he was the golden boot of the World Cup. Yeah, that's what you say. How many goals did he score against Panama? Isn't Panama an island? Panama, I don't care what I'm talking about. Panama is a freaking island, okay? In my geography, Panama is an island. So yeah, you start padded against freaking Panama. So again, I ask again, why is this guy undroppable? He has been trashed for 3 games. Now, I don't rate Calvert-Lewin that highly. Give the dude a chance. You see, I'll be real with you, Southgate wanted to sub off Kane. But he knew that if I do this 2 games running, it may affect his confidence and people will look at me funny. But keep it real. Southgate was like, no. But my thing is that because I saw Calvert-Lewin on the bench, and Calvert-Lewin was thinking that this guy is doing nothing. What's the point in bringing me if the guy playing ahead of me is doing nothing? I thought how it works is if the guy ahead of me is doing nothing, I can now be brought on to now try and change things, because that's the whole point of substitutes. That's the whole point of a squad, specifically a competitive squad, is if you flop, there's a guy who can come on to take your place. So you have to fight to keep your place. It's overrated, man. From Shane Schubert, man. Thank you for the dub. Foden is still undroppable for me. Source required. You see, Foden has to be involved in it. See, for me, Foden is a guy who puts him even ahead of Mounts, just based on just how talented this kid is. But the best for me, I think, this lineup from England right now. See, for me, my thing is Foden is the guy who I bring off the bench. But so it's going to be a toss between Foden and Saka. But the thing with Saka is he's a guy that can make things happen. He's a guy that doesn't make and produce things happen. Like, for me, he was a big reason as to why England got that dub. So Foden is a guy that can definitely be used. And I just think it's maybe dependent on the opposition. So you see, my thing with Saka is he would be good against a defensive team and a team that gives you space. Because he's got the speed, he can work on the counter-attack. And if it's in that are defensive, he can run at players and he knows how to dribble and he knows how to beat players. So he's good in both systems. And I've said before that, no, Foden is the better player. Foden is the better player, but sometimes the better player is not necessarily the better option. That's just like the whole 1+1 does not equal to kind of football mathematics you need to get around. The better player is not always the better option. All that matters is what is the team that can best make me win, because the key thing is chemistry. What players work together, what players can be on the same wavelength, and what players together as a unit can help me win. It's not just about getting, this is just the best players, is the right players. Because for me, I feel Sancho is another guy who's a right player to come in here as well. Elad, England should have Arsene Wenger. Someone like that. And you know what? Wenger is not a bad call. You see, here's the thing. Let me drop some game on you. The best thing that could happen for England is they get pimp slapped in the round of 16. But even then, I still don't know whether they would sack Southgate. You see, my thing, the worst thing that could happen for England ahead of the World Cup next year is if they make the quarters or the semis. Is if they continue to play badly, but they somehow make the quarters or the semis. Because if then, you will keep Southgate and this team will not reach its potential. This team is not reaching its potential under Southgate because Southgate does not understand the talents that he has. But if you get, just for example, a guy like a Wenger will understand. Remember, Wenger was the head of the orphanage. He was the head of the orphanage. He brought the orphanage to football. So Wenger's a guy who will understand how good Bellingham is, how good Saka is. He will understand how good these young players are. And the key thing, he'll know how to improve them. Now, this is one now getting deeper. Can Southgate give coaching tips to improve Bellingham's game or Saka's game? Can Southgate on the training ground give a little few pointers to these guys? Look at what Wenger did to Henry. Wenger pretty much was the reason why we have one of the most talented strikers we've seen in Thierry Henry, one of the most talented complete strikers we've seen. That's down to Wenger. Imagine what Wenger could do with Saka, with Sancho, with Bellingham, with Foden. It'd be freaking amazing. Even with Mount. Imagine what he could do with Mount. So the best thing for England to do, just as my thing is whatever England do, I'd sack Southgate. Even if they go to the quarters of the semis, I'd sack him because that is going to give England's best chance to do something at the World Cup. Because if Southgate takes these guys to the World Cup and they meet Brazil or they meet Argentina or even if they meet Chile or so forth, they'll get touched. They'll get touched. But yeah, England needs a coach that understands his players because you can't have Sancho, Grealish, Saka, Foden, all these guys in your team and play basement level crap, rancid football because that football was crap. Over 90 minutes, a few patches were good, but over 90 minutes, that football was garbage. That was garbage football. Real bad, bro. That was real bad football. That football was nonsense. It wasn't good, bro. It wasn't good. From YSK Jackson says, Larry 1 mile per hour lane. Bro, it looks ugly, man. I'll be real with you. Just watching Kane just drag himself, it's like, because you look at Saka is sharp, Grealish is sharp, Sterling is sharp, and the ball comes to Kane and it's like, oh, it's so laborious, it's so cumbersome, he's falling over, it's like, oh, and it's just so slow. Because my thing is like, Kane just is not, he's just not combining with these guys. Because, okay, even if you're not scoring a goal, he's on a whole different wavelength from Sterling, Saka, and Grealish. And you have to have chemistry in the team, specifically when you're in that your final third. You have to have proper chemistry in that area, man. And it's just not popping up because like the guy just looks super cumbersome. And I ask again, if he's played like trash for, because he is starting the last 16 because he's the captain and so forth, but which is why this is the thing. You have to be careful about who you make captain. Because because your captain should be somebody who is undroppable, but is consistent. So he must be consistent because your captain is a guy who has to be there. He's the leader of your team. But he must be a guy who is a consistent guy. So for England, give it to someone like a Maguire, who that, okay, he'll be consistent in what he does. Hence why it's always good to give it to like a solid central defender because they will normally be consistent. But you can't give it to a player who is... Kane was the worst player for England today. He was England's worst player. England felt like if they were playing with freaking 10 men. So Wesley Jackson again says that at Dric's age, Iniesta was pretty much retired. How old is Modric? Modric is 35. Modric is going to be 36 in September. This guy is 35 and is still dropping goals like that. People need to put respect on Modric's name. Because as your boy Wesley said, at 35, Iniesta was done. Like Iniesta is in Japan. It's okay. Iniesta is saying what's up with Shibuya and like manga dolls in Japan. But at 35, Modric is still balling for Real Madrid and is still giving performances for Croatia. Like even in that England game, Modric was Croatia's best player, was probably the best player on that pitch. He was the best player on that pitch was Modric. So people need to put some respect on his name, man, because at 35, and remember, this is not 35 playing in defense where you can be conservative. This is 35 playing in midfield. Difficult, and who knows? Because he's going to be 36 in September. If Modric is still playing at even near this level at age 36, if Modric goes into the World Cup at 36 and is still balling, we have to have a serious conversation about where he lies as a midfielder, man. We have to, man. We simply have to. From your boy's son says, where is Sancho? Very, very, very disappointing and very disheartening. Because I really thought that Sancho could have really done something at these Euros, really lit up these Euros. But it just seems as if Southgate just does it. Because here's the thing. Rashford. Like Red Devil, again, United fan, said to me like, no, Rashford isn't fully fit. Guys, even if Rashford was fit, Rashford is not going on the pitch before Sancho. That's not that's not happening. Not on my watch. Rashford is not going onto that pitch before Sancho. Now that is him fully fit. He's not even fully fit. How does he get onto the pitch before Sancho? Like, this has to be a meritocracy, because if it's a meritocracy, Rashford simply isn't in the best 11. And Rashford cannot go in there before Sancho. This is a guy who was one of Dortmund's best players in the Bundesliga. This is a guy who many people regard as one of the best young players in the world, one of the best young talents in the world. So my thing is this a case of EPL tax? That because he doesn't play in England, we don't care. Screw you. I mean, it's because when you're making that, like, they gave him 6 minutes. They gave him 6 minutes. Like when they were making the Rashford sub, why wasn't that Sancho? Why didn't you? Because I thought, okay, bring on Sancho for Sterling and so forth, and just chain things around, move Grealish there. But I just don't understand the notion that Sancho isn't part of this team. A guy who we know is as good as we know he is talented as we know that he is, and isn't starting in this team. I mean, it's cycle. From Whitesky Jackson again says, an EPL merchant said Larry was a footballing striker. See, here's the thing. It's the wise kid. It's about adaptability. You see, Kane under Mourinho for Tottenham, playing with Heung-min Son, and being able to train every single week with a certain amount of players, he will look good. And he may look good against Norwich, against Southampton, against Burnley. He now moves to internationals, different sets of players, different manager, different system, different environments. And international football is different. It's much slower and far more tactical than EPL. EPL is very open. It's end to end. There's much more space. Guys are attacking. International football is much more about possession. Keeping the ball is a lot more slower. Guys, it's more like chess. Guys are a lot more careful in how they launch attacks, and they're a lot more compact. So what we're seeing is Kane lacks the ability to adapt. Because you have to obviously adapt, because this is a different team and a different system. You see, someone like a Saka or a Grealish or a Sancho, because those guys are just quality players, put them in any team, they will ball. Lewandowski, because he's just a quality player, put Lewandowski in any situation, he will ball. Look at what, there is zero excuse for Larry Lane, because look at what Lewandowski has to deal with. So I just want someone to tell me, why should Larry Lane still start? And you can't give me that bull crap of, he was top scorer in the EPL. Top scorer in the EPL doesn't mean anything. It's irrelevant, because this top scorer in the EPL has been garbage for these 3 games. And what I don't, what I hate is, because people are so tribal and they want to just promote that EPL is the best league in the world, when the league's top scorer is garbage for 3 games, it can't be his fault. The players around him are bad. The manager's bad. He doesn't feel right. No. What if him being top scorer in your league is irrelevant when we're talking about international football? What about that? Because you can't just assume that, oh my gosh, if he's top scorer in the Premier League, that means he must be amazing. That means he must be world class. No. Him being top scorer in the Premier League is just that. He's top scorer in the Premier League. Leave it as that. But we've seen a guy who's been straight garbage, useless and crap. What has he done for 3 games? So I want to ask, what has Larry Lane done to contribute to this team for 3 games? And why should he be starting? Why should he be starting? There is no reason that this guy should be starting, man. All right, what else did the guy say, man? Southampton doesn't know how to use Kane. I hear another excuse here. Adapt. Okay? It is not down to Southgate to be like, okay, Kane, what do you need? No. Make it work. Make it happen. Lewandowski knows that how things operate in Bayern Munich doesn't operate here. I've got to adapt my game. Cristiano, this was the best example. The way Cristiano plays and operates for Portugal is totally different from what he to do for Real Madrid and for Juventus. So I keep hearing the excuses. Oh, it's manager. They don't know how to play him. There's no service. People are not providing for him. No. He had an opportunity. Ball was passed to him, and he breaks the 1v1. That was your opportunity, and he breaks the freaking chance. So, what are we saying, man? Is Kane a clutch striker, or is he just a flat track bully? It depends what Kane that we're talking about. If we're talking about EPL Kane, he can be clutch for sure. If you're not talking about Kane in the Champions League, in the Europa League, in internationals, he's Casper the Ghost. He's Casper the Ghost. The guy is inconsequential, and he's a non-entity, man. Well, Gajar says the giant told me he won't start until the deal's done. Wisely, I want you to come on here on this live show when the so-called deal doesn't go through. I want to see your reaction to it. I want. If I swear to you, if Jad doesn't sign for that Bombers club known as Manchester United, I want you to come and explain, because you know that he still hasn't signed yet. He's not has not signed yet. So Kane is there for Anglo-centric, God save the Queen vibes. That's it. No, look, see, that's the issue with England. See, England are so weird. See, England, they pick these people, like these images, these symbols, and they rally behind these symbols. And now, as a manager, you now feel pressured to always pick the symbols. It's the same thing that happened in the Champions League final. Remember in the Champions League final, Kane hadn't played for like 3 months. Lucas Moura, the guy who scored the hat-trick, was denied a place in that final because you have to play Kane in the Champions League final, just because. And that is where, you see, as a manager, don't you dare put that pressure upon me. If you're hiring me as a manager, I am picking the best team. There is no person that's undroppable, unless their name is Messi or Cristiano or Verratti or Hazard. You know, there's nobody that's undroppable. Kane has not earned the right to be undroppable because he's not in the same existence as Cristiano or Messi. He's not in the same stratosphere existence as those two. He's an EPL merchant. And he's shown at the World Cup, when he didn't score in the quarters, didn't score in the second round, didn't score in the semis, that you're an EPL merchant. You are an EPL merchant. What else are you guys saying? So tomorrow, man, Portugal. So England. Who do England face? So do England face the runners-up of Group F, and Croatia face who? So who do Croatia face? I think Croatia face someone in Group E. I think that they face someone in Group E. So England face the runners-up of Group F. I think. After today's performance, how far do you think Croatia can go? See, I have to see who they face in the next round. But for me, it might be round of 16 max. It might be round of 16 max. But it depends who they face, you know. But it might be round of 16 max. I don't think they even make the quarters, you know. Like, it's just not their team, man. It's just not their team. It's just not their team. Yo, Red Devil, Iran, do you want to jump on, man? Red Devil, Iran, man. Let me give you the link. Jump on, man. Give me some of your insight, man. Grealish needs to give Kim some of that jollof. Speaking of jollof, man, my mom came from Nigeria and gave me some of that jollof, man. Ooh, wait. So yeah, Red Devil, tell me, man. I'll send you the link if you're a boot. If you're a boot, I'll send you the link. All right, let me bring in your boy Red Devil, man. Let me bring your boy Red Devil up in the space. Up in the space. All right. There you go. Red Devil, I've sent it to you, bro. From HH, which matchup do you really want to see happen these Euros? Italy, Belgium, for sure. I hope we get that. I would love France, Netherlands. France, Netherlands would be amazing. Italy, Belgium, France, Netherlands. You know what? Let's see England, Germany, man. Let's see England, Germany. Why not, man? Yo.
Oh man. Well, we saw Saka and Grealish start. So you know, I was out. I was actually out. I was drinking with some mates, and everyone, literally, the whole thing has said, I don't fully understand why Jack Grealish has not started since the beginning of the tournament. You know, I can sort of get why maybe Foden went over Saka. You know, I think we get that. You know, that's fine. So, but in the games that he's come on, I don't really understand why he didn't start. And Harry Kane, I mean,
okay, wait.
Yeah,
I need to just put my groundnuts into the fridge. Just tell the audience just your general thoughts on the game overall, and then I'll be back.
Okay. Yo, guys, it's Lead Level Studio here. Lead Level Studio. Yeah, I'm here. So, so yeah, I mean, I think I agree with most of you guys in the comments. To be honest, England, I think I can't even look at the comments. Anyway, England, if they face the France or Germany, are they really making it through the last 16? I don't think so. Well, no, I'll take that back. They can if Southgate wasn't the manager. I think there's a way that they can play. I think England have the squad to go toe-to-toe against the France, to go a Germany. Brooks, against Portugal, see, this is the thing. It's like, it really depends on how England play. So I think that if we were to play a high-pressed game against the Portugal side, I think that England could beat Portugal. I think our defense, I mean, shout out to the defense. They've not conceded. So, it's been you've got to give credit where credit's due in that respect. So defensively solid. Yes, they don't score many goals, but you've got to give that. AM says, level thoughts on Sancho not starting. Okay, I'm going to be a cynic here, and I genuinely going to be a cynic here. And okay, some people said, right, it's because of the deal, the transfer, etc. But I genuinely think that media companies have agendas when it comes to starting players. Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Sterling, certain players have media identities to protect. And I think there is, just think about it this way. Let's say Kane didn't start, right? Let's say Kane didn't start and he started Calvert-Lewin instead. If England had lost or drawn or whatever, then suddenly Southgate out, Southgate is useless, all the media come around him, they stone him, etc. There's pressure from inside, it disrupts things. So I don't think, yes, that means he's not a strong manager, but I don't think you can underestimate the power of media influence and social media criticism, despite what managers say, for this team. So that's why I think the likes of Kane and Rashford and so on, you look at it and you see there are players who are technically better not playing because they are bigger media personalities and need to be protected. Because at the end of the day, you need to see Kane so you can sell Coke. Let's be real. You need to say Rashford so you can sell Walker's Crisps or whatever. You need these guys are marketable icons first. They wear marketable stuff, so you need to see those players that are popular to increase your brand, and not, like Saka. Is Saka a marketable brand? No, he's not. So there you go. Anyway, so you're back in position.
So basically, my thing is, look, what do you make, because obviously Mount's going to be out for last 16, but if you had to choose between starting Mount or starting Grealish, who do you start?
Oh, Grealish. I've said them that Grealish can play number 10 and he can play in the left and sometimes the right, I think, at Villa. So, but, for the last 16, because I think I worked out that if England somehow managed to beat, whether it's Germany, France, or whatever, their actual route to the final is actually not that bad. So this is their biggest, if they get up for this game and somehow do it, then the route to the final is actually not that bad. Whereas...
So they face the runners-up or the third place?
They face the runners-up, so second place.
Okay, which is most likely probably going to be Germany.
I mean, Germany are going to beat Hungary, aren't they?
Yes. Basically, so because Germany play Hungary, you expect them to beat Hungary.
Yeah.
France, I think France might beat Portugal.
Yeah, I'm not 100. I see that as a draw, possibly.
What scenario could France finish in second?
So France right now have 4 points. And Germany have 3 points.
Yeah. Wait, let me even bring up this thing.
Yeah.
Because let me bring up the table now. So can we get at England, France? So France have 4 points. So I suppose if Germany beats Hungary, that's 6 points.
Yeah.
If France and Portugal draw,
they'll still be second. Yeah.
If France and Portugal draw, boom.
Obviously, if Portugal beat France, then potentially you might see France in third place. And then I don't know how that will work with who the third place. I think that's the scenario where France might play Belgium. I think this is it. I think if France somehow finish third, they'll play Belgium because I think first in that group plays third, if I'm correct. But
so I mean, basically, in most, and look, now that's a game. England, Germany, Wembley.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. You see, right? Obviously, this goes back to what we're saying at the start, which is Southgate. The fact that it's got, because here's the thing: do you believe that he would have started Grealish if Mount and Chilwell did not have this whole COVID fiasco?
I think he would have made changes because I think Mount is on a yellow card, if I'm correct. I think one of them Foden's on a yellow card, so that's why Foden didn't start, because they don't clear off the yellow cards until the quarterfinal. So that's something to bear in mind. So even in the 9 of 16, because I think did anyone get a yellow card in this game? Did Shaw? I think maybe one or two people got a yellow card. So if they got it, then I think they might not play in the following game. But I think Southgate would have made changes. I think Grealish would have started, but I don't think he would have started against Germany. Whereas now it looks like Mount will probably miss out on the round of 16, as will Chilwell and Gilmore. Grealish will probably start against Germany, which has me a little bit more optimistic. Because if Grealish plays against, Grealish versus Rudiger, I mean, I don't know.
No, it's not because my thing is that
Aston Villa versus Chelsea, and certain things happened. Certain things happened.
Listen, it's all down to Southgate, because my thing is that look, England can beat Germany, but Southgate has got to get the lineup right and the approach right. Because see, look, England, you've not considered it and so forth, but you've not really faced it. You've not actually faced an attack. For these two games, you've not faced anybody. And we saw what Germany did to Portugal, a conservative team. So when Germany gets it right, these guys can't get that ass.
Portugal don't have I know they did counterattack in that way, and that was good. But like, France did literally beat Germany through like constant counterattacking ball to McTominay. And we know that England have much quicker, much faster players than Portugal do. Like, I've got no doubt that you ball it to Saka, for example, he's going to run, he's going to cause that defense problems. I'm not saying he's going to score a hat-trick or something. Even England are going to win, but I suspect what he'll do, especially because they're playing at home, because Shane Schubert made a good point, he'll probably go conservative, play a back three to match. So probably you'll match Germany 3-4-3, and he'll use the wing back. So he'll probably use Kyle Walker and then Luke Shaw either side, and then probably play Stones, Maguire, and we might get Mings, possibly, or maybe he might bring Luke Shaw into that free centre back pairing and put someone else on the wing like Trippier or whatever. But I have a feeling he'll go with a back three and just counter attack and give it the ball to a Sterling, to a Rashford to run at that German defence. Which
I mean, but then would it be smart to, because have England played the back three in any of these 3-3 games? I don't think so. No.
They played, I think, in some of the friendlies in the build-up.
No. But in these 3 games in the Euros,
I have a feeling they started a semi-back three against Croatia, because when they played Croatia, they started Walker and Trippier. So at some points in the game, it looked like they were playing a back three. So, but not, I wouldn't say they've started a traditional back three. But knowing Southgate and his previous record, like the Nations League, etc., against big teams, it's like Ollie. He'll. I mean, that's fair.
No. These Euros, I am not assuming anything. Like Germany could very easily draw against Hungary or even lose. Like that could very easily happen. So I'm not assuming anything. I think they'll win, but I'm not going to just assume they're going to win. Because remember, this is the same German side that couldn't beat North Macedonia. So
and if anything
could happen, because my thing is, if now, like I said again, like, we're still waiting our first official emergency hangout, because the England one was like a semi one. Like, I'm waiting for the first truly official emergency hangout, and the first official one is if Cristiano finishes bottom. And I think that's going to only happen if Hungary beat Germany and they lose to France.
Yeah,
which is not going to happen.
It's not impossible.
Red Devil it's not happening. Relax. like come on.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But it's I know, like, what I would say for the Hungary is that I don't think you can, because to be fair, against Portugal, for most of that game, they're actually all right. I think towards the end they've got a bit of luck. And I think that against Germany, I wouldn't be surprised if Hungary were able to somehow get a draw. Win, I don't think so. But get a draw, it wouldn't surprise me, because they did hold their own against a good France side, and they reduced France to not that many chances. I'm perfectly honest. Benzema was, I don't know where Benzema was, to be honest, in that game. So if he's going to play,
wait, Red Devil, are you part of this whole Benzema needs to be replaced by Giroud?
No. I mean, against who they're playing against, Portugal, you can obviously play Benzema. It's fine. So, but I'm just saying that if Timo Werner is playing against Hungary, I trust Viola over Timo Werner in front of goal. That's just keeping us like the Viola in front of goal is their main. I think he's 38. 38 Hungarian. It's got more
Oh,
goals.
no. Like
than
that's
Euros.
what's even like. Fiola is a better, more dependable. I trust Fiola on a 1v1 over Werner. I trust Fiola to score an open goal over. Well, now if speaking of open goals, I think that's where your boy Morata comes into this whole scenario.
Well, yes, yeah. Well, I mean, Spain is another thing too. Because you're talking about emergencies. It's not done. That I keep on saying Slovakia are nothing to be sniffed at.
Bro,
Spain, you might argue deserves an emergency hangout. I think there look so many.
Look, if these guys they've still not won a single game yet. So my thing is, so if they lose to Slovakia and Poland beat Sweden,
yeah, Poland still needs to beat Sweden. But the thing is that if they lose still, because of the best third place thing, even at third, 2 points is not going to be enough. So they'll probably still get knocked out based on the fact that they don't have enough points.
So my thing is, so if Spain, true, that's a very good point.
Yeah. They need to win, to be honest.
So and even if they draw, so it's like 3 third places because Czech are on 4 points.
Yeah.
Switzerland are on 4 points. Then you got Finland on 3, Ukraine on 3. And you're expecting one of these guys to maybe finish on something.
Yeah. Unless Portugal get lubricated.
Unless Portugal get. So, okay, so is it 3 or 4 third place teams?
So 4. So the 4. So only 2 of the third place teams will. But
so basically Switzerland and
Finland have got a -2 goal difference.
Yeah. Finland they're screwed. They're screwed.
But with Spain, like obviously if they win, it's fine. If they draw, I think they'll be okay because I think other people have got a more negative goal difference than 3, so they should be all right. I think.
I mean, my thing is, do you think he starts from Morata? See, this is where you have to just chill because I want to be asking about Kane, but do you think he'll start Morata the next week? Because my thing is like, managers have to stop this, where you're just loyal for the sake of being loyal. Because managers, I hate when managers are like, you know what, I'm going to just be super, super loyal. So when I'm proven right, I'm like, aha, remember who stood by him. There are times when you just cut your losses and say, no.
Enrique's talk is going to be something simple. It's going to be something like this. You know, when he's asked at the press conference, are you going to start Morata again? And he'll say something like this: Morata has more goals than Mbappe in this Euro. The end. That's and the thing is, I think I'm joking, but I wouldn't be surprised if he says something along those lines because, like, well, the guy got a goal last game, so why should I drop?
Like he'll just talk about him getting a goal, but like if you're starting striker, remember, these are the guys who had Raul, Torres, David Villa. If you're going from that to a dude who he missed an open goal. He missed an open goal and he missed a 1v1. I don't know how you can work with that. You know, I just don't know how you can work with a dude who is operating like that.
I think Slovakia still they've got a few. I mean, I don't watch Slovakia a lot, but I know Hamšík still plays for Slovakia, and he's okay.
He's all right. He's all right, man.
But the thing is, they had lost against Poland, but they're playing against 10 men, and I think they probably would have got something from that game, to be honest, if they'd had 10 men. And then obviously they beat Sweden. So you look at it and you're like, they beat Poland because that's how they got 3 points, don't they?
Yeah.
So they lost to
Sweden.
So they lost to Poland. Was it Sweden? Yeah,
So Slovakia beats. They beat Poland, lost to Sweden.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, and then Spain haven't beaten either one of those teams. So I would say that, like, if Spain somehow get knocked out of this thing, then you could argue there needs to be it could be something like, you know, the end of tiki taka, like 2010.
Yeah, no. We would have to have it if Spain finished bottom, because remember Luis Enrique was the same guy who, okay, fine, you didn't take any Madrid players, you picked 24 players.
Yeah,
you picked 24 players, and you can like what's it called? I think there was another striker that the dude from Bilbao.
Yeah, Inaki Williams. I said him. Yeah, Inaki
Oh
Williams.
yeah, that's what was it.
Yeah, Inaki Williams.
So you picked 24 guys, not 26, and you didn't even take Inaki Williams. Your so basically, if you mess up, you definitely need to get completely, totally destroyed, man. But okay, I want to ask you about, because I've been ripping off Larry Lane so far. Should he be dropped for the last 16 game?
Yeah, I would drop him, but I know he's not going to get dropped. Like I had this conversation with United.
So,
like,
so you would drop him?
I would drop him, yeah, because I think that. Well, okay, no, I'll take it back. It does depend on how we're going to play. So I suspect that if we say play Germany or France, we're going to be quite deep. And so as a result, maybe you can see you can get benefit from Kane. He comes back, he tracks back. Yes, he doesn't hold the ball as great as he could, but like you get that from him. So we'll be more pragmatic. And obviously, if it goes to penalties, dude's a good finisher. That's one thing he's good at. But if we actually want to play a bit more expansive and put the pressure on France or Germany, then I would. Sorry,
this guy says Inaki Williams isn't that good. If you open your rotten mouth and tell me that that Morata is a better option than Inaki Williams, you need to induct your entire life, bro. Because Inaki Williams may not be great, he's a much better option than that trash Class B break.
You take him at least and put him on the bench and say that. Thing with that is that's fine, but like what you could do is set him a score. We got to get a goal. Bring on Inaki Williams. That's what you do. So that I don't think Calvert-Lewin's in the Premier League has been better than Harry Kane, for example. But I know that Calvert-Lewin, can score goals. He's intelligent. He can. He's certainly a good header of the ball, and his position is actually not that bad. But to be honest, I play a false 9 against Germany or France. I would probably play Foden as the 9, and then Grealish behind, Saka on the right, and then Sterling on the left. Because Sterling scored 2 goals and he's not going to be dropped. So for that, and then if you do that, then okay, fine, you can play Henderson and Declan Rice together. Because Henderson can obviously transit over.
So who do you put in as in the striker's position?
So I play a false 9. So I play Foden as the false 9. Then I play Grealish behind. Then I play Saka on the right, and I play Grealish on the.
Oh, you wouldn't play Sterling.
Sorry, Sterling on the left, Foden false 9, Grealish behind him, and then Saka on the right. And then you can have Henderson and Declan Rice. Yeah, but how old is Aspas though? Is he not late 30s or something? Or
bro, even if the guy was 60, he'd still be a better option. But no, because what I wanted
to take Costa to Costa's done. Why not take Diego Costa? I mean, he's playing football.
But I think that the guy is like in some kind of beach, like sniffing grass or something. So I don't know where he's at. But wouldn't you see? My thing is because what I wanted to see in the game is that sub Kane off, play selling as a false 9, and bring on Sancho. Because my thing is, I just think that it's like political that you just can't. He refuses to drop him, and the scary thing is that is why you can never get into this position in a team when there's a guy who is bad and can't be dropped. You see, there are people who have earned their rights to be undroppable. Cristiano, Messi, you can never drop them because they have too much of a legacy that they have to always be on the pitch.
There's an element of hope for me in that because obviously because let's be real, this Czech game was ended up being a dead rubber game anyway. It didn't really mean anything, to be honest, at the end of the day. But the second game against Scotland, you could argue did, and the fact that he made that substitution, I'll bet it was at 70 minutes to take Kane off, at least tells me that potentially, because England-Scotland's a big game. So that tells me that, okay, can Southgate in a big game? Yes, he might start him, but maybe at least in 60 minutes or 70 minutes, be like, right, okay, I need to change something up. I need to, Now, Rashford wouldn't have been the player I would have put on. That's where the brick element comes in. But maybe he might be like, okay, right, maybe we should try a Calvert-Lewin, or maybe we should try, getting Saka or Sancho in there, trying something different. Personally, for me, I always think that Jamie Vardy works a lot better in this. He's retired now, but he would work a lot better in this system than Harry Kane would, personally. But that's a separate thing.
Okay, well, let me just get some of these dubs. But so, from your boy LSK Laxon, man. So LSK Laxon says the Jad told me he won't start until the deal's done. Red Devil, has he signed yet for your club that lost to Villarreal in a Europa League final? Has he actually signed the deal yet?
He's not signed anything. He's not signed anything yet. But
wasn't this supposed to sign like 2 or 3 weeks ago? Like, what's happening?
The Glazers. That's the main. That's reason number 1, 2, and 3. But obviously, it's a bit weird that, as you said, that he's the best, one of the best forms in the Bundesliga this season, and he's not started. And there's got to be some sort of thing in the background where you're like, right, okay, maybe I don't know. And this is a theory. Maybe they're like, bro, if Sancho gets a long-term injury, how are we going to sell him? Are we going to do something like that? So there might be an element.
Wait. We just talk about Sancho and what Sancho can bring. I need to cut up on my granite. Back. So
hang it. Have here football hut. So I don't know. Actually, it's very unusual for Sancho to not be playing, given what he did for Dortmund this season. And my only theory is the interference with United, but also could it be something like if Sancho gets injured, then is the deal off? You know what I mean? There's clearly a tactical negotiation going on, and I would imagine that if, say, Sancho gets injured, then maybe United go, okay, well, at the end of the day, we're not going to be paying as much as we'd like. And maybe Dortmund are thinking, protect Sancho at all costs. We need him to sell for particular, because Dortmund clearly want to sell Jadon Sancho, so that could possibly be the reason. Like football hut. But as far as Sancho playing, let me know in the comments, guys. Do you actually think that, I would start Sancho, but you got to go on performances, and with what Saka did today, he deserves to play on the right. Surely, I'm not saying Saka's a better player than him, but let's be real. And let me know in the comments, guys. Without Saka, where do Arsenal finish? Where do Arsenal finish without Saka? Possibly batting relegation, possibly in the Championship right now, possibly. I don't know. Red Devil, White Skates like Red Devil, bro. Relax, he's coming home. He is. He'll be there. He'll be there. But I don't trust the Glazers, to be honest. I really, really don't. Also, quick questions. So I'm going through. I want Josh Ribery Mbappe Lewandowski debate, man. So let's leave it. Let's leave it. Let's see what's some of these comments. Level, do you want Coman but United though? If Sancho deal falls, United might go for sort of a conman. Bro, if I'm honest, United have other areas, and I know this sounds bad, but if the deal falls through, I'd rather us spend on the remaining energy going out and actually getting a centre back and getting a central defensive midfielder and saying, right, we'll just use Greenham for now, wait until next summer or whatever. Because let's be real, the United board can do nothing, and spending another 3 or 4 months to try and negotiate another right winger. It's that's the nature of the board, unfortunately. Kane has won nothing. That is true. Sancho and Grealish with Sterling G. False line is the best way to put pressure on Portugal and Germany. And I agree. But Southgate is a pragmatic manager, and certainly against the bigger teams, against Germany, France, I'm 100% sure he'll be pragmatic, which is annoying because the matches will probably be at Wembley. I'm sure the fans want him to go out and attack, but we'll see what happens. Shout out to Have Hope Hairhut. Checker says, level you would you care if they got knocked out? No, I'm not particularly care. I'm not English in the sense of it's coming home, but I like to also be fair. So regarding Southgate, at the end of the day, he's still not done anything. He's not a great coach. We've still not done anything significantly wrong to warrant him be sacked. If he gets lubricated by Germany or France, okay, fine. But so far, he's not done anything wrong. So be fair. That's what I think. All
right. Let me finish off these because basically, because my mom came from Nigeria recently, and she just brought over some groundnuts. So she just told me that I've got to cut up on the plastic bags, put it in there. So look at I've got Serie, I've got egusi, I've got jollof. Man, bro,
I told you this is why Grealish is balling. I said Grealish, give that food.
You need the jollof. You need the jollof.
Give it to Kane, man. Give it to Kane.
So Wesley Jackson again says, who's been better, Leus, the Rat, or Assad? Well,
Usman has been he's injured again.
Well, yeah, like the guy got the body injured. I mean, if the guy is fits his top 3 talents in the world. Well, Verratti was very good, just like he's only had one game. So I would argue probably Verratti, just that game that Verratti had against Wales, he was looking pretty good. He was looking pretty damn good, man. He was looking pretty damn good, man.
So who Italy facing again? It's
Italy playing Austria.
Austria, that's it. Yeah, okay, fine. You never know. Marko Arnautovic might say something about someone that he knows in the stadium, and like
no, the guys don't do much. Oh yeah, and also Wesley Jackson says again, Larry hits his first clean shot on target today, by the way. Wait, so that's his first shot on target was today?
Wow.
Okay, but what do you think the issue is?
I've said that. It's the cynic in me says it's media, it's marketing. Like, I don't think people really appreciate that. A lot of big players. That's why, in a way, I get how, although a big cohesive team will eventually win a tournament, I don't think it's any surprise that small teams try and do things because there's no pressure to play them, to make them marketable, to make them superstars, etc. They can just focus on their football and gel as a team. But if you're constantly having in the ear, you have to play Kane, you have to play Kane to get playing. And if you don't play Kane, then we're going to slaughter you in the press. We're going to say you're not good enough. We're going to call for your head. Because let's be real. If he doesn't play Kane and let's say they draw or even win, but then they lose the next round, whatever, and it's worked, but basically, as soon as it doesn't work, they'll say Southgate needs to go. And there'll be a media campaign to get him out if he does that. And that's the problem here. I think that the England media is press when they have the players that they love, and the media of the marketing, they will defend them no matter what for their own gain. But when they hate, then you know what that happens.
No. I think basically and that has always been an issue with England is whenever they grow attached to players, they have to succeed via those players. England, we have to succeed this way, or we won't agree. I'll tell you right now, Red Devil, and people can read between the lines. It's really awkward how a certain Raheem the Dream Sterling is the only guy who has scored England's goals.
Yeah, well,
because remember, Sterling was the guy who had a really bad season. Kane was the guy who had double digits in goals, and everything was Kane. Kane has been the worst player for England, hands down. He has been England's worst player. And Sterling, say what you want, has been the only guy who has scored England's goals.
I mean, I know it's weird, but this is why you kind of need almost like a Mourinho and maybe Harry Redknapp to a certain extent, but someone who can just be like, screw the media, screw the press. I don't give a damn. I'll play where I want, drop for one. And that might mean favourites, as it happens to Mourinho, but at least you know that he's not going to succumb to what the press say, what the media say, and what the FA say. But that said, at the very least, like I said, referring that Scotland game, I've seen that, okay, he looks like he will at least try and change something. So Kane is not playing bad on a 16. If maybe they're losing, I'd be very surprised if he didn't try and change them to get a goal with Southgate. He might keep Kane on and bring Cavalier, and he might do something to affect it. So that's the only sliver of hope I have, that he didn't have to take Kane off against Scotland, but he did. With a good 20 minutes to go. So it wasn't like 5 minutes left and then bring Cavalier on. It was actually with a good amount of time to make an impact.
Because my thinking is now, I would want to believe that Southgate was that in that Scotland game, you're trash, you're coming up. But you know how some of these things work. Maybe we found out that he told one of the medical team, I'm feeling a bit tensy. I'm not really feeling really good. I want to come off.
That's true.
Because you want to believe that, no, he brought him off because you're just not playing well. And my thing is, how long will he? Because see, there are options. It's not a case of where, look, he has to play because the guys off the bench are just scrubs. There are genuine good options and better options you have on the bench. And see, at the end of the day, you're here to win. You're here to try and put your guys in the best position to win. Because my thing is, if England end up playing Germany, Germany will really love to play this Hurricane. Germany will love to play. That's back three defense. We're like, oh, give us Kane all day. Don't give us movement, speed, fluidity. Nah.
Do you think Joachim might start Timo though? To sort of with the pace and running and stuff like that.
Did you know, as much as I insult Yogi Law and the fact that he's obviously in the Brick Academy, one thing I'm going to give him that that I'm impressed that this guy has not allowed to like he did not start Timo Werner for the two games.
Yeah,
Timo Werner has already just came on, I think in the second half in the game against Portugal. See, if come the Hungary game, he still does not start Timo Werner, he has gained my respect.
So
he's gained my respect.
The front three will be what it'll be because he's going to play a false nine again. So he's going to play Havertz as the false nine, and he's going to play on the left and right. Sané or how's he?
I mean, he just because my thing is,
and Kimmich will be obviously a bombing fullback as opposed to.
Because I think Germany will be like, no, we'd like to win the group because see, my thing is I don't know what will happen in that France-Portugal game because see, if Portugal beats France, Germany top the group because they have a better head-to-head than
they won't face England. Yeah,
and my thing is that Portugal. See now, what is Portugal's mind state? Though that's the thing. Where do Portugal want to finish, or are they like, well, let's just win? Because see, if let's say Portugal know that Germany are beating Hungary, what is Portugal's mind state? Because my thing is,
the thing is, if Portugal lose, there's no guarantee that they will. Because although they have 3 points, no guarantee that they'll qualify.
So basically, here's the thing. So obviously, if France pimp smack them. Then that could be an issue.
They're gone. Yeah. So it's like, and even because their goal difference is 1, so even a 2-0 with some of the other 3+ teams, like it might not be. I mean, you don't know what Spain's going to do, but Czech Republic on 4, Ukraine on -1.
-1.
Again, that's not that far off. Okay, Finland's probably going to go out because -2 might not be enough.
But see Portugal, but they've scored five goals though. So
their goal difference is 1, so it'll go down to the goal difference, won't it?
So I think it's first goal difference, then it's how many goals, then it's goals for.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is the goal difference is 1. So if they go into the game and lose to France,
lose like
1 compared to the other teams that have played, obviously. So if they lose to 2-0, which is possible or more, then they'll be -2, and then they'll probably be on the same goal difference as Finland, and then they'll be out unless Spain brick it more. Or one of those 2 Finland teams bigger brick, which I think they're probably will.
So there could be a scenario like
what, Spain and Portugal.
Cristiano wouldn't dare give me an emergency hangout this early up in this whole thing. He wouldn't.
So
he would. I mean,
going to beat France then.
Basically, I think it will be a draw. I think it'll be like a draw. I mean, I think it's going to be something like
Diaz was very, 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 very suspect.
And that's my thing. So, because if it's a draw and Germany beats Hungary, that means France finished second and England now play France.
Yeah.
And look, it's it. See, my thing is okay. Can England beat France?
Is there a way that? No, I think France will qualify.
Wait, what were you about to say?
No, I was going to say, is there a way that France didn't qualify? Have France already qualified already? There must be they've got 4 points, so I think that's enough.
Yeah, like
they should
because if they lose to Germany, they're through because of the whole head-to-head. So if let's say if Portugal were to beat them, so Portugal go to 6 points.
Yeah,
Germany beat Hungary. That's 6 points. That means they go. That means they can go through in third. So even if like let's say Hungary beats Portugal, they're especially they're through. France are through. They're through. But it's just that they don't want to go through top. That's because that whole Hungary thing just really messed with their groove, man. But yeah, I mean, look.
There are going to be some interesting round of 16 matchups because whoever finishes first, second, third in this group is going to play a big team. So obviously England, whoever, and Belgium, I think, whoever in this game. So you're essentially seeing 2, arguably favorites. I'm not saying England's a favorite, but I mean a bigger team getting knocked out in the round of 16. Because one of Belgium and one of whoever it is, France or Portugal, is going to go, and then likewise, obviously, with England or Germany, whatever.
I mean, look, there's some. Because I really want to know who Netherlands face. That's who I want to know. I want to know who Netherlands face. Okay, so England's game is on Tuesday.
Netherlands, I think, face it might be whoever's in the Spain group. I think it might be third in the Spain group.
Okay,
So
the Spain group, yeah. See, that's why England. See, because people are thinking that so your theory of like England throwing it, man. Well, yeah, because if they had finished second, then there'd be like a really good path for them if they had finished second. You know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. As I said at the start, like it would have been they would have had a good round of 16 tie, but the rest of the path in terms of getting to the final, they would have faced harder teams. Whereas in this way, with my tournament predictor, whatever, yes, they're difficult. They have a difficult game against Portugal, Germany, but the rest of the games are actually not that bad. So I think if they win this, if they were to beat Germany, they'd face the winner of Denmark or Wales, for example. And then suddenly, if they do beat those teams, you're now in a semi-final. So, and then you're like, okay, well, you somehow got there again, so you don't know. So the big game, if they can get through this game, then their path to the final is actually not as bad as the other way. So
basically, all of England's games are at Wembley, apart from like the quarter or apart from the quarterfinal.
I think that I have the quarterfinal round of 16.
The round of 16 game isn't at Wembley.
I'm not sure. It's one of the two, either round of 16 or quarterfinal. It's not in Wembley. But yeah, if it's in Germany, I mean,
it says here Wembley Stadium.
Round of 16. Oh, okay, fine, okay.
Yeah. Man, so I think it's the quarterfinal that's not on Wembley, but the semi and the final is at Wembley.
Yeah. But they will get a decent, if they somehow, and they will somehow beat Germany, they'll get a decent tie in that. But it's you got to see what happens. At the end of the day, and this to be fair to England, to be fair to Southgate, at least now you're making the conversation that they've got the players to win. They could win. They can win. You're not saying, oh, they've got no chance. Oh, they're going to be lubricated. Oh, they've got players that do surprise.
And that is why you see, because that's what I was saying, that like, because obviously the World Cup is next year. The best thing that could happen to England is if they go into the round of 16 and get destroyed.
Yeah.
And then now force people to say, Southgate, thanks for taking us this far. We now need another manager who can really get the best out of this group. Because if, let's say, England somehow make the way to the quarters or the semis, then he will keep them for the World Cup. And Southgate cannot get the best out of these guys. He's just not the guy. He's just not the guy.
I agree. But like I said, he's got to. I think at the end, he's got to do something wrong, like really wrong, before he can get like. I always try to give managers the benefit of the doubt. So if he beats a big team, for example, if he goes and beats Germany, then you're like, okay, and tactically, whatever does it, then you give him time and see what he does. And if for me, like if he gets to a semi-final, you don't sack him. He's done enough in that sense.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like,
not because he's great, but just because
no. Red Devil, I'd still sack him. See, unless he wins it, I'd sack him regardless. That's just me.
Yeah.
But there's no way that if he gets to a semi that they're going to sack him.
Because in the context of England's history, let's be real, England's history before the last World Cup was effectively brickish all up until 1966. I mean, okay, they did reach the semi-final Euros in 1990, was it? I think, when they've gone off the penalties to Germany. But for how many decades, it's been terrible. So I think this might be the first time that England managers would have actually achieved back-to-back semi-finals if he did it in an international tournament. For a team that's played football for supposedly more than 100 years. What the? You haven't even been able to get to back-to-back semis, let alone a.
No. But the funny thing though is, I said again, like, because it's so funny how England, like, they've only won one international trophy, and that was in 1966 on home soil. So first of all, I'm not sure whether I can actually accept that win, because if you won something in the 60s on home soil, some dodgy stuff must have been happening. So my thing is that, like, because that's why I say, like, you always have to respect the legacy teams. Like, people are like, oh, Germany. Well, I mean, what are Germany about that they can't do anything? And the Germans are like, okay, all right. Look at what we now did against Portugal. Because like what they did against Portugal that's legacy. That's when this is a team that has football heritage and football history. Considering that have football history, they will always remind you that we're still about that life. We are still about that life.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I said, England don't have it's just it's marketing FC, really. Just marketing, sell shirts, sell boots, hype, make money, go home. That's pretty much England FC.
So, before I let you go, so quick plug. Just tell people about your channel and stuff, man. You know.
Oh yeah, thanks, Sage. Yeah, so it's Red Devil Studio on YouTube. It's Red Devil Studio. Also on Twitter, we are UnitedX. It's a Manchester United fan show, but I've been posting some reactions to the Euro games, also Copa America as well. We also do some live stream podcasts. So guys want to get involved and just talk football, Copa America, whatever. You know, so we'd usually do that on sometimes on Fridays, sometimes Sundays, literally before HH's hangouts. So yeah, if you can head over and subscribe, I'd appreciate the support, even if you want to troll me, because I know a lot of
nice one, man. Yeah, man. Give him the support. So, Germany, Hungary score.
I'm gonna go. I know people are gonna say it's a crap take, but I'm gonna go with a draw. I just think I am. Yeah, I know. Hungary are a difficult team to break down, and I know just something that I don't know. There's just something about them that says like, I don't think they're going to get lubricated.
It's at the Allianz Arena, man. So Germany are the crib. So
I know, but the thing is,
if it was in Budapest, I would get it.
But to be fair, Hungary's not that far. I mean, I don't know whether they're allowing a lot of fans in, but Hungary's not that far, so I still expect there'll be a sizable amount. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, obviously Germany are the favorites are going to sort of win, but I don't know. There's just something about Hungary where I'm like at the end of the day, I think Hungary compared to say Portugal will be a lot more compact.
Well, yeah. Then more difficult to break down. But that's why I just think I found it weird, because we know what Sanchez is about. He's a very conservative guy.
Mel mentioned a good point.
He played 2 CDMs. So how the hell did Germany get 4 goals against a pragmatic team that had 2 CDMs?
They stopped because obviously they knew that Portugal were going to counterattack. So it's like what Pep did against Oli in if you remember I think it was the League Cup thing when he played Fernandinho and Rodri against Manchester United. 2 CDMs effectively, but he got the dub over because they effectively killed off any counter-attack we're going to have because it was back, and obviously they did the thing. It was a set piece, if I recall. So I think he knew that that's Portugal's aim. Shut out the counter-attack, have the ball, suffocate and do the thing. But I don't think they'll necessarily... Obviously, Hungary will counter-attack, but I don't think they're going to be as expansive to do that as a Portugal will. I think Hungary are literally like, you guys go and take the ball. Semedo is a bit also sorry, Mo said that Thomas Müller isn't going to play, so I'm interested to see how that might affect things. He is I still think he's one of the most influential players for Germany. I think they still should win, but he's kind of the one that makes those intricate passes. Obviously Kimmich is welcome to do that, but
also even if he doesn't play, bro, a guy that needs to be in there is Goretzka. I think Goretzka is a guy who can really give Germany something different and extra.
And I still don't believe the Germans can. I still don't believe the Germans can defend that well. I generally think that Hummels is there to be exposed.
Oh yeah,
badly.
But
really stop buying people.
We see Hummels in a back 4, which is different from a back 3. See, a back 3 gives you so much more security as a defender because you now have 2 guys rather than just one other guy right into the center. So there's a lot much of a bubble. So basically, for Hummels now has much more of a foundation. And let's keep it real. What's it called? The goal that they conceded. So the goals they conceded was obviously an own goal through Hummels here, a counter-attack where they just defended badly through counter-attack, and a set piece. So they've not really been opened up and fully exposed.
True, but there's always a risk when you play against, and I see this all the time in the Premier League, stuff like that, especially with even Chelsea this season, when you play a back 3 against a low block team, because the incentive is for you to break them down. So you lose that extra a midfield or whatever, and it's harder to do that. So with a Hungary team, I expect if he's serious, I expect him to play a back 4 because you need to go out and break this Hungary team down and score past them. If he plays a back 3, Hungary, yeah, sure, take the ball, pass around, do whatever. We'll just mark our play, stay in the box for how many minutes, and then when we get a chance from a set piece, when we can break, we will. And we know Hummels is a weak link, so ping it up to him. Get Fiola against Hummels. I still think beats Hummels any day of the week, and you get your goals. So it will be a lot harder if he starts with a back three and Germany, I think, have the initiative, are given the initiative to try and break Hungary down. I think that'll be where the challenge will be.
So you're rolling with a 1-1.
1-1, yeah.
France against Portugal.
This is going to be a game of narratives. This is going to be a game of narratives.
Benzema narrative, Cristiano narrative, Giroud narrative. See, Red. Do you know what frightens me?
Yeah.
Benzema draws a blank. It's like 1-1.
Yeah.
88 minutes, Giroud comes on and scores the winning goal. You know, Benzema's Euros could.
Do you think it's more bang if Ronaldo somehow scores a hat trick against France? I think that that might be a lot more, sweet.
Because you know that he got his very first goal against Germany. That was the first time he was ever scored against Germany.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Bro, Red, I told you, this guy, he's a fraud. Like, he scores against part-timers. Like, 90% of his goals have been against Alaska, Lithuania, Greenland, and Krypton, and Gotham City. Those are where most of his goals. Most of his goals have come against Krypton and Metropolis.
Let's be real. France in this game. Okay, Griezmann scored and they got an own goal. It's not been a Benzema Mbappe goal fest. I think people were thinking, and I think a lot of that comes from, I don't know, France's inability to difficulty to actually break down teams that play like a really big low block. And Deschamps' tactic does literally seem to be defend, inshallah, to Mbappe to run. That literally is, and then maybe Kante, if they get a break, he can do attack, he can foul things, he can intercept. Pogba can, obviously make passes to Mbappe, but it is literally a counter-attacking tactic, and that might work against Portugal, especially if their brick defense does what it does again. But it's again narratives. Jota, Bruno, Bernardo Silva, Ronaldo versus.
Wait, did you see what? Because someone, I think it was Shane. Yeah, Shane sent this to me on Instagram because he said that, and I think this was a quote from Maurice. Maurice said that it's hard to play. It's Portugal are finding it difficult because Portugal are playing with 10 players because Bruno Fernandes is not playing.
Right. Okay.
Bro.
Right. Okay.
Bruno. I mean, okay. I know you rep for him and so forth.
I mean, to be fair,
where's Waldo? Where's Bruno? Where's Waldo?
You can make a counter argument that so long as Ronaldo or Bruno run against Pavard, if a 38-year-old Fiola can basically sprint ahead from you despite having a meter in advance, then surely Bruno Fernandes can do a nutmeg and get past Pavard on that right and score problems. I genuinely think that he's the worst player in that French team. So if anyone's listening to Pavard, he's the worst player in that French team.
He's worse than Rabiot?
Yeah. He can't. He's okay at going forward, but he's terrible. Terrible.
Did you see his goal at the World Cup? Like he ain't great.
The previous World Cup, yeah, but recently,
Rabiot, man, I think he might just. It's either him or Lloris. Because let's not forget about Lloris. Lloris is a calamity always waiting to happen.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But he's been okay so far.
It's been high.
We obviously need to make sure that Benzema does score a goal, because we can't have a situation where we say Harry Kane is bad, Lewandowski's bad, but Lewandowski scored at least a goal, and Benzema, and then
Giroud scores the winning goal. Because I told you,
exactly.
I dread the day that Giroud now passes Henry as France's all-time goal scorer. Like that, that'll be really messed up. That'll be really messed up. Yeah. So what's it called? So Wiseguy says that Cristiano hat-trick, Big Ben's blank, the fanboys.
The narrative of that is going to be Ronaldo carried Real Madrid.
Let's put that into the universe right now. So let's use our jinx powers and put that into the universe right now. So Cristiano Ronaldo is going to drop a hat-trick. He's scoring 3 goals, and he's going to have a man of the match performance.
This is reverse juju right here.
No. This is really. Cristiano's going to score 3 goals. He's going to have a man of the match performance. He's going to end up with the golden ball, and Cristiano's going to lead Portugal to the Euro finals. Benzema's going to score 0 goals, and he's going to be a break.
I love it. And reverse juju is potent. To be fair.
No, this is not reverse. Cristiano is dropping 3 goals. Cristiano is getting the golden ball. He's dropping 3 goals and finals minimum. Hashtag finals minimum for Portugal.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure you see, you know, your name is on the line here, because if somehow, some way that he does do that in a crazy dimension, you're going to have to do at least a 2 or 3 hour stream. You're going to be like, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Look, wait. Aren't like the golf championships this year or something? Let's do some pre-match golf analysis, man. You know, if that happens, pre-match golf analysis, man. Okay, so no, I do not see Lukaku. Now, look, I respect Lukaku, I love Lukaku, and I've got a Lukaku agenda narrative going as well, because I want Lukaku to be top scorer. So guys like Red Devil, YSK Jackson, Mo, and so forth, who called Lukaku Tims and demonized him, can be forced into.
I have receipts of you saying. I have receipts. I literally played a receipt on your channel saying that Morata was
you used a voice changer. You used a voice changer.
Lukaku.
You used a voice changer.
The receipts are there. Let me know in the chat, guys. I have receipts of HA literally saying Morata works in Chelsea's system better than Lukaku because he doesn't have a good first touch.
No. Okay, so score, man. Score.
Oh my goodness. I think France will still win it. I don't think it'll be as a goal fest as Portugal. I think it'll probably be 2-1 because that Portugal defense got exposed. For everyone that's saying that, you know, Diaz is the best centre back in the world, I mean, he got exposed badly. You know, conceding 4, you can say, oh, well, are you literally going to say that he got exposed because John Stones wasn't with him? I mean, that's that. Like, John Stones actually, as I said, is currently the best Man City centre back at tournaments. He's played 3 games, 3 clean sheets. And obviously, Laporte got bullied, and he's probably going to get bullied tomorrow. And Diaz obviously is -5 in the clean sheet category. So I think France have enough to expose this France side. So I think 2-1. I think Benzema will get his first goal, and probably Griezmann as well. So I don't think about
So say 2-1
2-1 to France. Ronaldo and Ronaldo.
Portugal are going to hold 2 L's.
I think they will. I think the defense will be exposed. What one said. Yeah. Turkey are dangerous.
Look, I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what. Like, that's just like literally, they finished the bottom with 0 points, and I think they scored 1 goal. 1 goal.
Why people two clean sheets? Got 3. He played it. Stones played in all 3 games.
Yeah, 3 clean sheets. Yeah. No, look, 3 clean sheets, yeah. But remember, Southgate was a defender, so this is his back. Like, the defending is his back. It's just the other stuff that's a bit dodgy for the dude. All right, guys. Look, man, I will see you guys here tomorrow for the lineup preview for the Portugal against France game, and then obviously we'll be on Twitch live for the Portugal France game. Then we'll be back here on YouTube after. So I'll be doing a Twitch live stream for Portugal against for Portugal against France. Lineup preview about an hour or 30 minutes before, and then of course we'll say what's up on the YouTube. So guys, peace out, stay true. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.